Finally. Okay. So, well, thank you guys. Thanks for making it here. And this is for startups. We meet 2 or 3 or 4 times. You got the best seat in the house.
Good turnout tonight.
Okay, so so we have a massage chair here. So you got the best seat. So we meet 2 or 3 times a month, sometimes more, to bring together entrepreneurs and professionals, just like you guys, in Silicon Valley, in San Francisco, and it's really interesting because there are few events that are very few, if at all, that are focused exclusively on foreign entrepreneurs. So we are able to we have that niche in the market, and it's great to have you guys here today. I'd love to do one thing actually, and it's a lot of people, so those who feel like, just raise your hand and tell your country. And so I want you guys to see that what kind of representation we have here. So anybody can go and just start.
Poland.
Yeah, just speak the country.
Spain.
Last country.
England.
France. Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
Belgium. Belgium too.
Awesome. So we have about I think we have about 1,700 members actually in our group, and they literally come from 100+ countries. Believe it or not. I've seen the smallest country, I didn't even knew that, but some country from Africa, and then obviously we have all the European and Latin American countries that are represented. So there's always an effort to bring together a lineup of speakers, or that you guys can connect with. And so I go through my network, and then I work through and try to find people who really can inspire you. And so today we have like a really interesting theme here. There's the concept of plug and play. I mean, Silicon Valley is such a pioneer and a trendsetter in the market about when it comes to entrepreneurialism and startup and technology and digital, God knows, and that's why you guys are all here, right? Majority of you for that reason. And but the concept of plug and play has been around. I mean, so if you, those of you, I doubt if any of you would be there, but I'm talking like flashback 2000, 1999, and .com was big and a lot of funding and all that. But the concept applied, people were working out of the lofts. There were people, if you guys know, there were people working out of the lofts, living and working in. That's how the lofts became really, really popular. I saw so many startups actually make it big. 99% of them actually fizzled out. 1% survived, but they made it. So anyway, then came the wave, but right now there are like plug and play, and there's live and work. Both concepts out in the market. So what we thought is like we have a lot of foreign entrepreneurs who are visiting and traveling, and they're here for 1 week, they're here for 1 month, they're here for 3 months, 6 months, and we wanted to bring you guys these people who actually started these incubators, these spaces. Why did they do that? We're going to hear from them. But where you guys can live actually, and it's a great networking place for you all to come together. You meet like-minded entrepreneurs. I've walked into a couple of them, and I really like. I haven't been to Santa Cruz. I could have come over there, but it's really cool. It's because you meet these other people. So, but the idea today is like you guys can learn more about what they do, and join these guys and hear the stories, and we would love to hear from them. So we're gonna go through the introductions, and if you guys can just introduce yourselves, and then we're gonna have some presentations. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have we have 3 incubators here, space incubators. We're gonna go through one by one, and then we're gonna open up for Q&A. But if you have any specific question that you want to ask one of them, and you don't want to wait till the end, please raise your hand, and we can just clear that up. But we want to hear their stories, and we'll open up for Q&A. So, Guillaume, you can start.
So my name is Guillaume. I'm the founder of StartupBasecamp. I'm from Belgium. I moved here 2 years ago, and I never thought about starting a place as I do now. but it was my need when I arrived here. I needed a place where I can live, where I can work, and by chance I met Carlos in Palo Alto in the Startup Embassy, and I thought I'm going to stay 1 week there. Because living together with other people, sharing the same room, wow, that's some stuff. For when you come from home where you have your own room, you're like just graduated from university or you started to work or whatever, you have your own life. Arriving here, it's a different world. And I thought I'm going to spend a week there, and finally I spent like 3 months there. Why? Because I was able to live and work at the same place. So I'll tell you more about that later, but...
So we'll go through initial intros and then we'll start, because we're going to show the videos also, some videos. Okay.
So hi everyone, I'm Emmanuel. I'm also from Belgium. Actually, I went to the same school as Guillaume. It's pretty funny. So I got here like 5 years ago. I got sent by my company a travel planning software from Belgium to run the US branch in San Jose. And I must say that when I got to San Jose, I was a bit disappointed because that was not the image of California that I had in mind. So I quickly realized that Santa Cruz was, better for my expectation. So I moved to Santa Cruz. I had a really good lifestyle. I could surf in the morning, then work on have a full day of work, then go to meetings in San Francisco, go to the office. And I had that lifestyle for like about 2 years. It was pretty nice. Then I got a bit, I wouldn't say bored, but I didn't really have a social life. I didn't really meet people like me, like entrepreneurs or like international people. So I decided to move to San Francisco. My social life got much better. I actually also worked on a startup photo app, which for accent people, which was a terrible idea because we didn't have a business model. That was a fail, and after that I kind of realized that it was a lot of people like me, people that are being able to work from anywhere. Nowadays, the cool term is digital nomads, and also found out about the co-living, and I said, well, why not creating a co-working, co-living in Santa Cruz, and I did so in November. But I'll tell you more after.
Okay, so I'm Carlos. I'm also from Belgium. No. I'm from Spain. Hello, Spain. I see many Spaniards here. And I came here 3 years ago. I started a startup in Spain, failed, came here, failed again. And then basically I needed to pay for the rent. So I started inviting friends to come, and then friends of friends, and friends of friends, until a point in which there were not friends. So, I will tell the story later, but it was something absolutely and completely unexpected. It is not what I thought I was going to do. So, yeah, and then I didn't name it. It's Startup Embassy, as Guillaume said. So, well, basically that. I'm a telecom engineer, I'm a tech guy, and now I'm doing, what? What is this? This is hospitality, right? So, no, I enjoyed it very much, but I'll tell you the story afterwards.
Awesome. So think about it. These guys had an option to do their own startups, right? And being in Silicon Valley, but why did they not? So, not everybody's fascinated by but it's a startup, but it's a different kind of a startup, right? Not a typical startup. So I would love to hear. I'm gonna learn more as much as you guys are gonna. So I want to see actually the Startup Basecamp has a video, and you can increase the volume actually on also. And see how the Startup Basecamp looks like.
Hi, I'm Joe, the CEO of Startup Business. All of these programs I had the same language here for the first time in school. I remember I was super excited to come here, living the dream, moving to San Francisco, but I quickly realized how difficult it can be as an international entrepreneur to land here to set up your startups. I was sick of this problem, and that's why I decided to create Startup Basecamp. A place where you can live, a place where you can work.
Will you turn the volume up?
Find your innovation.
Vivian, these speakers are not working.
Or mute and preamp. Say it. My friends.
Okay. Find engine maximums. Service provider, lawyers communication model. And the most important is we are community. You won't stay alone on your own. You're going to be direct with other entrepreneurs. Other people from the startup community. You're going to share experience, life, you're going to be inspired. That's all the power of the
When I arrived here, everything was organized and prepared for me. I received a survival kit, which gave me tips and tricks to discover San Francisco and the Silicon Valley. I didn't have to spend time to look for a place, I could directly start from. The place is Basecamp, is affordable, spacious, and super big. I really like that.
It's a great environment, I think, for being productive. You know, you have other people around you who are focused and have a very good energy, and you know, get a lot of inspiration from hearing about other people's ideas. And then you have the chance also to give other people feedback, which is always fun.
Needed a place which I could really work at the same time, and it's going to be in working to as soon as you arrive in San Francisco, they all great events, and the connections you can make there are much stronger than the ones you can do in Manila.
How do we place to live for people that are speaking to the better? Maybe hello. All very interesting. Give her back to the cultures. Little Fire is amazing. I love StartupBasecamp. You know I'm a huge fan. This is my best friend's it's kind of amazing boy.
I feel like
I can't wait to see more.
What I love about StartupBasecamp is not so important, because I think it's a brilliant solution to an incredibly painful problem that many entrepreneurs face.
Join StartupBasecamp. You know, you can do it.
Well, guys, sorry about the speaker. It's we got to work on that. Okay, so if you go to the StartupOffice.com, and we're gonna play the video from. Actually, I have a presentation. Yes, we have a presentation also.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play the video or the presentation?
It's a presentation and then the video.
Actually,
I mean, if you do videos, I can video.
Okay. So you can open the presentation for the Surf Office.
Surf Office, that's a good one. Bronson works at the beach. The billionaire Bronson.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to tell you when to change slide. Okay. So the story. So the story, I kind of already told you the story. So yeah, maybe it was something I didn't tell you is that. So yeah, I was living in San Francisco. I lived here for 2 years, and I really liked it. The thing is, I was paying like, I think, $1,600 for like a really small room, and I don't know, I just got tired of it, and I kind of started to miss like my whole life, like living in Santa Cruz, like doing my early run on the beach, and then work, and then like yoga session, surf session. So I don't know, I kind of say, okay, let's go back to Santa Cruz, let's do that idea that I had in mind for like for a while, like a co-working, co-living on the beach. And it was, I think it was in August, so I really say, okay, I spent like maybe a month to find a really good house, because in this business the really difficult part is to find actually really like a house where the landlord is going to let you do the co-living, co-working, because it's something new, not used to it. So actually I got lucky to find a really, really good house. And after that I did some research and I found the surf office concept, and I found that guy Peter who is here actually. And we had a few, I mean I love the concept, it was exactly what I wanted to do. And we had a few Skype calls and we decided, okay, yeah, let's partner, let's do it. And we opened in November. Peter came and helped me set up the business and everything, and now we've been like, yeah, it's been 4 months and everything has been good. So maybe you can move on to the problem. So the problem we're going to solve with surf office is like there's an increased amount of people that just basically that want to work even when they're on vacation. Like everybody is working on a project, everybody is reading emails even when they go on vacation. And there's not really like places for those people. Like you can do it from a hotel, but it's not really personal. You can feel lonely, you're not going to meet people. I mean, there's the hostels, but the hostels, well, often they're very loud, it's party, people are pretty young, so it's not ideal. Then you can also like work on a coffee shop and have your own apartment, and then you have the loneliness problem. So you can move to the solution. So basically what, there's some image that should appear. But okay, so basically what we came up with the surf office is to have a space like we offer accommodation, a proper office space, community, so we screen people to make sure they fit in what we wanna have, and we want to be at the beach, maybe later in the mountains, in the outdoors, but so far we want to focus on the beach. And we also organize activities like barbecues, yoga sessions, hiking trips, a lot of stuff like that. Maybe now we can move on to some photos of this. So we have private rooms, shared rooms. That's the office. That's actually the first version of the office. It's actually much better now. That's the beach. It's actually Steamer Lane, which is like one of the best surf spots to actually learn to surf in California, if not in the world. It's actually a pretty beautiful day. That's one of the barbecues we had. That's the volleyball beach. So we organize like a volleyball session every Friday at 5 after work. That's one of the many communal dinners we organize. That's the hammock. So it's funny because actually people have actually some Skype conference in the hammock sometimes when it's sunny. That's another photo of the barbecue. And that's the yoga. I'm like showing my yoga skills over there. And that's one of the hikes we did in the Santa Cruz Mountains. That's another photo of Santa Cruz. Okay, so that's so far we have 2 locations, one in Santa Cruz, one in Gran Canaria that Peter runs. We're planning to open San Diego and Lisbon by the summer. In terms of customers, we got like a bit more than 400 entrepreneurs, freelancers, a lot of employees that can work remotely. So we got employees from Google, from Facebook, from small companies. We even got bankers. A lot of freelancers. I would say like 50% from Europe, 50% from the US, and I would say like 60% guys, 65, 35% girls. I think we can attract girls because of the yoga thing. So the press. Well, we actually. I mean, this is clearly a trend of co-working on holidays. So we got pretty good press in the New York Times, in the Guardian, USA Today. We hope to get more. So far, we don't really do marketing. It's just like all word of mouth. What else? I think that's it. Okay, and that's me.
So your company basically is like a hotel.
Sorry?
Your company is like a hotel, provides a room, an internet connection, correct? That's what you basically do, right?
I mean, you could say it's like a kind of like a hotel of the modern age. You know, it's like a new type of bed and breakfast, like bed and work. Yeah. But I mean, what we provide and that the hotel doesn't provide is the community. Like, you know, coming to the surf office, you're gonna meet people. I mean, that's like StartupBasecamp and Startup Embassy is the same. Like,
I would say it's the opposite of a hotel. Because a hotel sells isolation. We sell the opposite. We sell a community of like-minded people, so no. Sorry.
No, yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Yeah. I think people of our age don't want to stay in hotels anymore. Like, you know, it doesn't really make sense. Like last week, I was in LA with my partner, and we stayed in a terrible hotel for $90 in LA in the middle of nowhere, and there's no concept. There was nothing. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. If there was a place like StartupBasecamp or like Surf Office or Startup Embassy, we would have stayed there for sure.
Airbnb, you can go in homes.
Yeah, but the problem with Airbnb is that if you want to book something last minute, I mean, they're not going to reply to you. And, you know, also like Airbnb, I have some bad experience with Airbnb. So.
Plus, it's different than Airbnb because Airbnb is really like you go or you rent an entire apartment or you go for a shared room, I mean like a room within a house or whatever.
Yeah.
But what's the interaction with the house manager or the housemate or the host?
Oh, you
so it's nothing. So maybe some of them are really more like complicated and they will give you like a place to go or whatever. But for the rest, it's just like you pay, you get, and that's it. With what we do with Surf Office, with Startup Embassy and StartupBasecamp, it's like also a community. So you stay with other like-minded people. And as you work, you stay also during the day there. Go for activities, but it's way more like a deeper connection that you establish with someone. If you stay a week with someone, living and sharing a space together, how many of you will know each other after tonight?
Yeah.
Tomorrow you're gonna have like 5-10 business cards in your pocket. You're gonna say, oh, that's amazing. I mean, this guy, I don't remember that one. That's possible, but if you spend like 1 week or even like 3-4 days in the same place with people where you live and you share the space, where you're going to cook together, you're going to walk, you're going to share experience, tips and tricks, and nice time and fun time too. 6 months later, I call you remember me, which is completely different if you go tonight. I mean, like how many of you I'm going to remember?
Yeah, I mean, how many of you like repeat the Airbnb?
What's the connection? What's the experience that we share together? And that's what we do. It's like we create experience around. Way more, it's human experience, so it's much more deeper than just like we go, even like an incubator, where you just go and go working space after like I don't know, maybe a month, you're gonna start to know who's like sharing the space, and if that guy doesn't come every day at the same time and don't take his lunch with you, you have few contact, but that's it. Here after a week, because you spend the same time, you're gonna sleep, some guy is gonna snore, you're gonna remember him because you want to punch him, but he's still a nice guy, so you're gonna have a beer the next day with him, and that's where you really share something different. And if you stay with other international people, as we do, it's amazing because you have friends from Poland, you have friends from Italy, you have a friend from Spain, and it's almost friends. Okay, to become friends in the US, after 2 minutes, nice to meet you, I'm super happy that I met you. Europe or all around the world, real friends is someone that you know and you share time together. And that's what we do. If you spend a week, you're going to see really like the connection, a deep connection. And that's really useful for business, but for friendship, for traveling, for exchanging information, for everything.
How long people stay, like the average stay?
Depends. We are between like 3 weeks to a month and a half, to almost 3 months, and some people coming back also. But you can stay like for a few days if you have a hole in between, two people staying longer. Usually after, if you spend less than a week, it's too quick to get used to the place, to get used to the people, and the real connection that you're gonna build. It's after a few days, you know. You wake up, hi, how are you? You want a coffee or whatever? Let's go for food, for dinner, or we cook together. That's where you create something. If you just go for the night, you're in and out, you get back to the hotel concept.
In fact, when I get an inquiry saying, no, I need a place to crash, immediately I know that guy's not going to fit. It's not to crash, it's a place to... I mean, that doesn't mean that we want you to be every time talking to everyone. What it means is that we want you with the attitude of being in a community, right? Not just a place to sleep, because this is not a hotel again. In our case, the average, I would say, average stay is around 3 weeks, but we have people staying 1 night and people staying a year, right? They live there. So, and even, I had people staying 1 night and we still Skype every 2 months or so. He still adds to a community. I'm just thinking about a particular guy there. So, yeah.
So guys, let's hold on to the questions. I really, it's interesting. So I want to hear from all of us, from all of the speakers before we open up for Q&A. Can you go to surfoffice.com, thesurfoffice.com. And we're going to see a quick video from Emmanuel's Surf Office, thesurfoffice.com. So where's the video?
It's on California.
And the Santa Cruz.
Yeah. You go scroll down. Yeah, again. Okay, that's here.
That's the one, right?
Yeah.
Can you put the speakers that side?
I think so. It's coming from this projector,
really?
and these ones are not working.
Ah, okay.
It's a shame because the music is very good.
That's great. So what we did here today's event is we brought in like there are other incubators in the market offering the similar kind of experience. But what we've done is we brought in like somebody who's focusing on the European market, somebody who's focusing on the Latin American market, and they kind of like distributed across. One in Palo Alto, one in Santa Cruz, one in San Francisco. So get you guys like a good mix of options that are available in the market. So we've heard from Guillaume, there's a lot more to talk about. We heard from Emmanuel, there's a lot more we're going to hear, and Q&As also. But let's hear from Carlos.
Sorry that I didn't bring any presentation, but well, you can go to the page. No, so the thing is, I didn't explain why I started this. When I came here, I decided to come to the Valley because I was very naive and still am. And I said, if I'm going to fail again, I would just rather fail in Silicon Valley. So that's why I came. I just knew that the chances of succeeding was maybe less than 1%, and I said, so I will probably fail, even though I really believe in what I was doing. I said, okay, if I fail, at least I can say I failed in Silicon Valley. So when I came here, I came with 2 suitcases. I didn't know anyone, like probably most of you, and then you see the reality, which is you don't have great history. You don't have a social security number. Your visa only allows you to stay for 3 months or maybe 6 months, right? So who is going to rent a house to you? Then you say, okay, you have hotels. Shitty hotels, it's park and sleep, right? Then what? Where do you get connected? Where's Silicon Valley? You know this idea of flying cars, Silicon Valley. When you get here, everything is in like a neighborhood. You go like this, and so where the fuck is Silicon Valley, right? And then where are the people? Where do I meet guys? Where do I go? I was very lucky because I ended up getting to know that there was a place called Black Box. I don't know if you know Black Box now. Black Box is running an accelerator program, but at the time it was a house. And I was very lucky to be able to stay there for 3 months or 4 months. The first time it was in a garage, so it was December the 15th, so it was 5 degrees Celsius inside of the garage. So it's freezer temperature. It was really cold. But I didn't care, because when I woke up in the morning and opened the doors and saw everyone there, I said, this is amazing. People like me, right? Entrepreneurs, willing to change the world. So the first weeks, in a matter of days, you get to have a community of people, like-minded people, that just talk startups, right? They don't talk about soccer, which is what's the next big thing. Talk about UX design, growth hacking techniques, business models, whatever, right? That's what you want to do when you come here. So after some time, I decided to bring more people to the team. So I was thinking about getting 4 guys, including me. And I said, okay, now I would just rather start my house. But I was thinking as an office. A way to lower the expenses, I thought, okay, instead of getting a house that is 2 bedrooms big, if I get a house that is 4 bedrooms big, I can rent 2 of the bedrooms. And then I was doing my numbers, and in theory, it made sense because the cost of the living would just be lower. And I thought, I think I can make like $5,000 or such. And it did work. What it did not work was that I didn't expect, or I didn't realize that what you are doing when you do this is that you are adding weight. You are adding risk. So everyone is telling you that risk is something that entrepreneurs should face, which is 100% true. What they don't tell you is that you have to be really careful on how much risk you take, because too much risk is just too much. So I basically did something. I tried to look for houses, really difficult to get them, and then at some point I found one. And what happened was that the owner happens to be Spanish. So I knew that was my opportunity, and I called her and I said, you know what, you can make my dream come true. That's what I did. I applied emotional blackmail to her. And she agreed on renting the house. The problem was that it was very expensive, and when I did the numbers, I only had money to pay for 1 month, and the commitment was for 1 year. And, well, I just decided to go there. I said, you know what, if I fail, at least I have a month here. So I took the house. And I can tell you numbers, it's $8,000 per month. So basically, the second month, I had left like $2,000. So I went to my team, I said, guys, good news and bad news. The good news is that we have a house. The bad news is that we cannot afford it. So I told them to start running the startup. I said, we have to launch in 2 months. I will take care of getting the money so we can. So I wasn't thinking about starting a hacker house. I was thinking just about my startup and lower my expenses and having my opportunity to stay here, right? So what happened was, then everything exploded because I realized, that running a house like this takes a lot of time, much more than people think. It's a 24/7 dedication. You need to take care of the people. That's what people expect you to do, right? So I had our guests here, my team there, and then my wife came with my son. So it was a huge mess. It was the worst month in my life. She was crying all the nights. People were saying, Carlos, what is the toilet paper? I had to run to get toilet paper. Then someone would say, there's no food. And I was cooking for everyone. I was spending like $200 per day on food until I realized that, I shouldn't be cooking, right? I do still, but now because I like, not because I have to. So at one point, 2 months later, we were doing the numbers. We were able to stay in the house, but it was a mess. I lost control of my team. All the the leadership. So 2 days before launching of my startup, my team approached me and said, Carlos, we don't see the value that you bring to the company. If you don't make us co-founders, we're not launching. And I said, like, what? And they said exactly that. So the only option that I had was to fire them, and I fired them. So what happened was that suddenly I have a house that I need to pay for. I still had 10 months, and I had $200 in the bank. And well, I could have just run to Spain, but I didn't. So well, that boils in what do I have? I have a house. What do people need? I knew at the time what people needed because I had needed myself, right? They need this place to stay. So I started having entrepreneurs, and the good thing that I did, I believe, is that ever since the beginning, I made sure that there was a strong culture inside of the house about startups. So even if we didn't have money, I would not accept people that were not entrepreneurs. So we have a filter, we filter them, and we only allow people that are entrepreneurs, whatever that means. It means people 100% dedicated to startups, people with dreams, people that already have a product, people that have, whatever, startups. So the good thing about that is that after a month it did well, it did pay well. So, well, first month I did the numbers, second month I had some profit, third month more profit. I said, fuck, this is a business. And the great thing is that I was suddenly feeling that I was enjoying it very much. I was really having fun. I was having great people coming to the house. We would spend hours and hours in the night talking about startups in the garden, sharing a beer. And I said, so what is this? Is this something I'm willing to do? Because my idea was, once I get to July and I pay the rent, I get back. But I didn't get there. I mean, when it was July, 10 months later, I just continued doing it because I was loving it. And now I think that this is something that, it's not that I think, I believe and I know that it's something that I want to dedicate because I just love it. After 2.5 years, we're in Palo Alto. We've had around 1,000 entrepreneurs with only 12 beds, think about that, from 50 countries. And no, that's basically how it started and why. But I didn't expect this to happen. It's not something I would have come here to Silicon Valley to say I'm going to start a house and sell beds to entrepreneurs. Yeah, that's the story.
You have 12 beds?
12 beds.
And you didn't expand?
Not yet, no, because I just want to keep it as it is,
okay.
With the right spirit and culture. I'm obviously thinking about that, but it has to be in the right way. So, yeah.
So we heard about the challenges that you guys face through, just like any other entrepreneurs. But I would love to hear, like, what's unique, what's special about your spaces? Why would someone choose you, and what's the experience? Some things are common, camaraderie, peer, networking, like-minded individual. But let's talk about, like, what's exciting about being in your space, and from what you've been hearing from your host company.
In our case, first, the house is really nice. It's in Palo Alto, which is an entrepreneur, if he wants to go to Silicon Valley, that's the place, right? It's different from the city because the city is, it's something different. You will probably see something. There are people willing to go to the city because there are many more things to do. I believe that in Palo Alto, people can focus more. You can argue with this, obviously, but it's nice. You've got really good weather, not like it's that good probably, but we've got a park just by, you open a door in the backyard and you are immediately in the park. And the fact that everyone is an entrepreneur makes it unique. And you have to be there to know that. For example, this happens in an organic way. Someone asks at 2 o'clock in the morning while everyone is working there, guys, anyone here knows anyone in Evernote? And the guy raises his hand and says, I know the CEO. And the next week, he had a meeting with him. Or, I don't know, a guy 2 weeks ago, he was an analyst in a VC firm. Accepted him because even though he was not an entrepreneur, he could provide a lot to the group, right? Or today, I'm having a girl that she's in a PR firm in New York, but she's a tech PR firm. So, things happen there. It's not something that we can promise to do, but it always happens because, when you join great people, great things happen.
You have one location more than
right now, yes.
One location. Nano?
Okay. Well, for us, I think the unique thing we have is the location. Like 1.5 blocks from the beach. So in Santa Cruz, where most of the time it's sunny and yeah, that's what we have. The uniqueness of the space, and so that's why we attract people that are more into outdoors, because you also have the Santa Cruz Mountains. It's also Santa Cruz, also mecca for mountain biking, for kiteboarding. So we have entrepreneurs, but we don't want to restrict us to only have entrepreneurs. We also have, like I said earlier, we got a lot of freelancers, remote employees. Most people we have, those people are into outdoors or surf, but I also want to say that it's called a surf office, but we have maybe 20% that actually like real surfers. Like most of the people we have don't even surf, or just want to try it one time. So also what we have unique is we provide like bikes, surfboard. We organize like yoga session in the house. So it's a different experience. Like for entrepreneurs, it's more okay if you want to be in the city and go to all those meetups and network a lot. It's probably not the right place for you. But if you want to concentrate on your project, and if you also have like a better work-life balance, well, I mean, I think that's what we're good at. That's what we're good at.
So definitely, I mean, like we try to facilitate as much as we can your landing as a friend, entrepreneurs, someone coming from abroad and landing in San Francisco, and try to give you information, so where to go, organize events also, put you in touch with service providers, so if you need lawyers for immigration, we have some we can refer. So really try to make your life easier in a clean and comfortable environment, so we don't have bunk beds also, we try to make it like respectful for everyone, and keep a different quality. So there is like startup, I don't want to name, not startup there is other place in town where they're gonna more focus on having like a maximum of people, and I mean it's basically why I started this, because moving from Palo Alto to here in the city, I was looking for a place as Carlos mentioned, and I didn't find anything except places where they are overpacking people per room, like 10 people per room with bunk beds, no cleaning staff passing by. I was like, no, I'm getting way too old for that. I don't want to live like a dog. Some people pay maybe a cheaper rent, but even that you're going to pay maybe $1,200-$1,300 a month to go into this kind of place. I was now, okay, let's rent a place, and let's just sublet to entrepreneurs, and like this we have a nice place to stay. Then I realized that in fact there is way more behind that. There is a huge demand behind that, and we can help more people with that. So finally, I decided to get a visa. So I invested also to get an investor visa, which was the only visa that I could get here without getting an H-1B from a company. And that's why I started to really based on the what the fuck is going on here. There's so many people coming here, so many people looking for a place to stay. It's my case, and I mean what you find here is just like bunk beds, 10-15 people per room. I cannot do that. And more than having a clean and interesting place to stay, at least if I had also like, we're all doing the same research. Why can't I find a restaurant? Why can't I find maybe a meetup? Why can't I find lawyers or whatever? I was like, why not to also get the information from other people there, aggregate that, and help people who are coming. And that's why we started like this. And we really focus, as Carlos said also, which is very important, is like, if we have tourists, I prefer to have an empty bed than having a tourist in my place. Why? Because they cause trouble, they want to drink, they want to party, whatever. It's fine, everybody has fun, but here it's really like about someone from the startup world. It can be a digital nomad, but it can be also someone who's just like starting up, bootstrapping a startup, or someone joining a founder startup, so Y Combinator, or even like we had some some VC people, young VC. I don't think all VC will share rooms, but these interesting people who are like part of the community, and that's how you really create connection between people, because you have the same base. We are interested to build something. We are building something. We have dreams, and when you see someone who has the same dream as you, or like even way bigger, you think that why not to have mine too? Makes sense. Or this guy just raised money. I'm sure I can do it. Because one thing that we all go through, and I'm sure you all go through also, is this amazing roller coaster effect. No one in the press, when you see any success story, will tell you about that. Oh, this guy just made it. But for like 3 to 5 years, maybe before that, it was like struggling from my life is amazing, my project is the best, I'm going to win, to I am a shit, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, and it's going to fail. And then you get back. And by being surrounded with other like-minded people, you see those guys in the deep hole, you're going to talk with them, or you talk with yourself, you're in the bad time, you talk, and bam, you get back. So that's also the power of the community, like being together, not just working on the same project, but at least working on building something. And that's why you really create also powerful community by only accepting people who are in the same spirit.
So 500 startups, to my understanding, gets about over 2,000 applications, and they take 80 startups, I think, as part of the program. Where the remaining 1,900 plus are going to go? Okay. So I mean, these are great options. If I was at that life and stage, I would definitely jump in for that. I'll be there. So can you guys tell quickly, so how many startups or entrepreneurs have gone through your program or are currently there, or just cumulatively, how many have actually passed through over the years since you started, roughly?
In my case, well, I don't call it a program because for us it's more a platform, or it's just a community. It's your house, it's your home. So probably more than 1,000.
Wow.
Yes, because we get an average between 35 to 40 different people per month. So yes, around 1,100 from 50 countries. So we don't target the Spanish market, for example, or it's just global. It's whoever is an entrepreneur is more than welcome. Yeah, those are the numbers.
Well, like I said, we don't restrict ourselves to entrepreneurs. So I say so far we got like maybe 30% of our guests are actually entrepreneurs or startup teams. Like right now we have a team of 3 girls from Berlin, and they're staying with us for 9 days working on the startup. But yeah, it's not the majority, but I see the pattern where it's true that entrepreneurs are usually the best guests because they usually have, the more to bring to the community. They usually have that collaborative spirit that is actually really nice for the community. And we would like to attract more. But it's Santa Cruz, so although I must say like the startup scene in Santa Cruz is growing, like compared to 5 years ago, it's actually night and day. Like it's really it's really something happening there because, like I said, like the rent in the city, or it's just getting like insane. So startups are spreading like everywhere in Auckland, in East Bay, and now in Santa Cruz. So actually, I think it's not a bad option for startups.
So we got, I think, close by the 32, 34 different countries. I don't know, we're not listing everyone to say, okay, we put dots on the map, and I think Africa is missing. We got some people from North Africa, so we're super excited to welcome our next African guests for sure. So we can continue to put some in. We got close by 300 different entrepreneurs and people from the startup world so far. So it's continuously moving, growing. Now we start also to refuse people, not because they don't have the right profile, but just because we don't have enough capabilities. Because there is a huge demand. Also, as Carlos says, a lot of word of mouth. We have a lot of recurring people. So, when you arrive to San Francisco, that's a nice place to go. I went there. You should go if you go. Or I went there one time. I'm gonna come back. And we have guests like turning around, coming back here to meet VCs or to meet the network, but to take event. And as another place, they like us and they come back. So it's interesting to see you really see okay, that's cool. They like what we do, and it's encouraging you also to continue to make it better and better. Basically, we are a startup for startups. So we are a lean model and building better and better tools for all of the people who need it.
So we're going to open it up for Q&A, please.
So I have a quick question. Most of the companies that come from abroad to the United States, startups, they come for one of few of the 3 reasons. One, to enter the US market with their product, which they believe the US market is endless, right? And we will get at least a chunk of it. And very often they are up for pretty rude awakening later. Another one is to gain some expertise that they can't gain in their own country, which is usually they can get here through incubators, for example, or to establish here and get funded and keep their company growing. And in that regard, VC connections are very important. So I know that Carlos has some connections in that part of the world, incubators and VCs. Do you guys, how well are you built into that ecosystem to help those companies gain that business knowledge and gain the connections? Because no matter what we believe, there is a lot about connections here in Silicon Valley. So how much are you built into the ecosystem of startups?
Should I start or?
Absolutely.
Well, the problem is, well, the way I see it is the Startup MS, as I said before, is not a program. So I'm very careful not to raise false expectations to entrepreneurs. We usually get people in the very early stage. Some of them even, they don't even have a startup yet. They come here to get inspired, right? So you have to be very careful with that, because I don't sell any services to them, but just a place to live and have the feeling that they are in their home. So the connections that I can provide is in a very organic way. It has to make sense. It's not.
Well, one of the people that we work with
Yeah.
is mentor at 500 startups, right? So there is some.
Yes, Angelica's mentor, but usually when I introduce her to them, I don't say that she's a mentor. I mean, no, what I want to say is that it's not something that I promise. Hey, we've got a part of the team, one of them is a mentor of 500 stand-up, you're going to benefit from that. Because I would feel like I'm selling that, and you have to be really careful with the expectations, because connections, you know how connections are. They have to make sense. So we help them as much as we can, but in a way that we don't promise. We just offer it. So, because I don't want to charge for that, because I would feel, I am an entrepreneur. I don't want to say anything bad about other people that do that, but in my case, I am the type of entrepreneur that came here in the trenches and just made my thing. I want people like that. I would not sell them services myself, right? I provide the platform. If they benefit from it, perfect. But it's not something that I raise expectations in that sense. So it happens, but organically. In my case, that's what I'm saying.
Well, for me, I'm not gonna lie. Like I also don't make any promise. Like we're not incubator, we're not accelerator. So I have connection in the Santa Cruz startup scene. Like I know the local VC, the local angels, but what we provide, like Carlos said, is like a nice home where you can actually live, work, have fun, meet like many people, be part of the community. But I'm not saying, I'm not saying like, okay, I'm going to be able to introduce you to that VC, or you're going to be able to grow your business. Maybe like in a few months, but right now I'm only 3 years old, so 3 months old, so yeah, we're not there yet. And I don't think we want to provide that kind of services.
I just wanted to add something, that you see them because you live with them, and then some of them you say, oh, they're doing great, what they're doing is amazing. I see them work at 3 o'clock in the night. I see the meetings that they are doing. They're hustlers. I can see how they start doing their own network, right? You see them, and then some of them just pop up and say, I just need to help them, and then that happens, right? But it's not that you come here and say, okay, I know this guy, no. It has to make sense, right?
No, but I meant that you at least have connections. So if
Yes.
there is a need for facilitation, if you see something about them, you have those vehicles to help them.
Yeah, it makes sense, because if you've been doing this for a while, like us, almost 3 years, you do develop connections, and then people know you because you're stable, right? You're doing something that you've been doing this for a few years, so they know you, and then some VCs come to the house to know and say, what is this, guys? What are you doing here? I got that VCs sleeping in the house because they wanted to know what was going on, right? And it's just an ecosystem, it just works by itself. It's not something that, it's less of something that you plan than what really happens.
I just want to add something. So, I think there are more technically formal incubators in the market that we know that are more focused on the funding and the funding and advisory aspect, right? And we know who we are talking about. And there are more that are facility-based models, which are networking-based, space-focused. I think that's what we have representing.
Right, but you know that there are co-working spaces that are very well rooted into incubator and VC world, right? And there are, kind of different type of co-working spaces that are less rooted. So for those companies that are looking for those pathways to VCs and incubators, of course, when it's important, it can be an important factor.
Absolutely.
That's why I wanted to
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I like kind of like what Carlos was saying. It's like it's more organic. I think the way they evolve, obviously Carlos, with 1,000 people having gone through not the program, but the space, you got to have those connections in place. And having spent 3 years in Silicon Valley, and then 1,000 of those networks, look at it as like a network of networks, like of those people actually being able to give back to Carlos and Startup Embassy as well, from the huge network of 1,000 people that have gone through. But yeah, I mean, networking is key, you know, and it's a key aspect. Let's just hear from Guillaume, and then we can.
I think the question that you raised is interesting, and I join the point of Carlos too, because I mean, how we see like Startup Basecamp, it's finally we're a base camp. Your startup journey going on the top of the mountain, it's only you can move step by step. No one can sell you you're going to join me and you're going to give me 10% of equities, I'm going to give you 100K, and because I'm Y Combinator, you have the chance to raise money. But how many of them are cannot join Y Combinator? How many of them cannot join Final Startups? That's for the Silicon Valley. After you have like how many, I mean, dozens of incubators, accelerators, and it's more accelerators. They do the same deal with maybe more equities and less money. And I mean, entrepreneurs just they think we are moving to the Silicon Valley, we're going to make it because we joined that accelerator. Some of them will do, but how many of them out of 500 startups, out of Y Combinator, doesn't even raise money? And they've been like hardly selected. So we are not like playing the selling them, okay, you join to Startup Basecamp, Startup Embassy or whatever, and you're going to have that. No one can do that.
No, absolutely. And I completely see sense, and I completely see the value that you guys are bringing, because I myself, obviously, you can hear from my accent, I'm not original San Franciscan. So when I came here with my husband, and he explained to me the social security, the medical care, and everything, how it works. And it's important that you have that support that will help you ease your everyday life, right? So exactly. I kind of see that. I just wanted to understand that.
So what we do, nevertheless, we try to, as I said, like we try to facilitate the life. So we have information for lawyers, we have information for bankers. So we work with Bank of the West. We can introduce you to that guy. The guy is going to take care of you, facilitate your bank account opening. We also work with Silicon Valley Bank. That's how we can help. What we help also is like we organize events. So we bring angel investors to the house, serial entrepreneurs, we do a pitch, people can pitch in front of them, and they get feedback. And I mean, the last pitch that we did, Steve Hoffman, who is the co-founder of Founderspace, exactly, because co-founder of Founderspace. So with our new accelerators here, that guy has been selling entrepreneurs and so on and so forth, as angel investors, came, did a TED talk for like 15 minutes, and then 5 startup pitch in front of him. And during one of the pitch, at the end when he gave feedback, one guy was selling his services, and he said, you know what, I know the vice president of what you do in North Korea, and South Korea, and I can introduce you to that guy. And that's where the magic can happen. But again, we cannot ensure, because if you don't move step by step yourself, okay, in an environment that facilitates your life, and that's why we are calling like incubators, but I think we are more like facilitators than incubators, and than accelerators. We facilitate your life. It's up to you to go step by step. We can plug. What we do also, we have like a mailing list of high-level people, VIP, angel, or people who knows other people, and we can spread, you know, ID card of startups. We never use introduction to say, okay, we need to meet that guy. Yeah, we need to meet that guy. Okay, if I see you, I know who you are, I know that your product match with that guy, then maybe we can do an introduction. But it's more like, okay, the network is behind. All the tools are there to facilitate your life, and then you can also make it together.
I have an anecdote really quick. I had a guy from Czech Republic after the second day, I noticed that he was really upset, and he was. So I sat with him, and I had to be with him until 7 o'clock in the morning. He started drinking like crazy, and I was trying to facilitate, like, what's wrong with this guy, right? And suddenly he said, "I've been here for 2 days, and you haven't introduced any VC to me." I say, well, so what I want to say with this is, we have to be really careful with the expectations that people have, right? Because, I mean, things happen, but not like some people think.
I think there is it's a good question, you know, it's a good discussion. So there's a segment of the market that is served by the Paul Grahams and the Dave McClures of the world, right? But there is another level of the market that is not being served right now. And if nobody serves that, then what are those people going to do? And I think some of our like participants today are able to serve that segment of the market that is not being served by these guys who've been around, who've got the big connections, you've got the big network, you can have that VC meeting kind of thing. You know, so I think, you know, it's an evolving ecosystem, and I think the more we're going to move forward, the more it's going to give chance for other players to actually enter the market and fill up those gaps where the needs are.
To be honest with you, from what I heard, and I hope I'm not grabbing the time from any other question, but to be honest, from what I heard, I actually don't see them competing with those guys. I actually see more of a step ladder, you know, this is you got in the country, you got acquainted with how the system works.
Right.
You started building something, you started building connections with people of similar absence of knowledge, let's put it this way, right? And then you move to the next step when you start working, let's say, with incubators, and then next step when you get introduced to VC. So I don't see the
no, there's we don't. I mean, my case, no, and I guess you would say the same probably.
Right.
So no, not at all. We're part of it. I had a guy. Well, you live with him, right? You live with him. So this guy, he was from. Well, he was in Belgium, by the way. What's wrong with him? No, he's Indian origin, lived in Belgium. He suddenly one day saw something about Startup Embassy. The next day he bought a ticket, and he was in Startup Embassy. He just had an idea, started a prototype. It was a kiosk in which when you go to the cafeterias in companies, you have the tray, the system, the thing will just, it has several Kinects, so it will tell you what you picked and just charge you, okay? But when he came, he didn't have anything. He built it, he got a business co-founder, he started pitching. One of a CEO of a big company allowed him to do a test pilot in Intel headquarters, and he was going like this. He stayed for a year with us. He applied to Y Combinator, he was rejected, and the second time he applied, now he was accepted. So he's right now in the current batch of YC. And he told me, it's something he did, I mean, it's not me saying this, is that if it wasn't for Startup Embassy, he would never have ever, gotten into YC, because he was in Belgium, right? So, and there are some stories like this, not all of them, but some.
It's a stepping stool to the next level.
So your jobs of you three is to pay the bills, take care of the shopping, take care of...
having a family.
You are like the father of the family?
Yes.
Okay.
When you go pitching, we just, like this, okay, practice, they practice, we hug them the day after.
Oh, really?
We do, yes.
And they pay the food or they buy separate?
No, it's separate, but it's a community, so we've got food to share, because if someone doesn't want something and leaves, put it to share. We have an open source food.
Oh, okay. So if they finish, they give it to everybody?
Yeah, so we do barbecues together, or I guess you do exactly the same, right? People just join and say, hey, I'm from Italy, I'm going to cook a risotto, and the other guy is from whatever, so they just join together. It's not something that is isolated, it's completely the opposite. Yeah.
So I see really the value of programs, and also that it's like an add-on, and it could be like before you enter an incubator, or even like after you're done and you want to go back to that community. But you all serve international startups, right, or entrepreneurs. Like what's the mix like of domestic US companies and internationals? Are they any US companies? What do you think, how important that is also for international companies on a daily basis to maybe work together in a space where there are also US companies in the whole Bay Area or the world?
I mean, based on my experience, the US company were coming to Startup Basecamp is they are from another state. In Belgium, you can move from one region to another region in one day. Here, you need to take a plane. So when you move from New York or Miami or Austin or Seattle or Boston or whatever, when you come here to San Francisco, you at least need a landing time. Or you just come for like a week or 10 days just to attend to Google I.O. or any big conferences, and you will join us too. Or you just arrive from another state, and it's like moving to another country. You arrive here, okay, it's the same language. I have an advantage because I have a social security, I have a credit score, so I can rent a space. But in San Francisco, the problem is like how long it's going to take you to find a place to rent for a year. It's going to take you like 2 to 3 weeks if your budget is not too tight.
And if you're lucky.
Yeah. So that's why we also serve a little piece of that market of US companies moving here, or also moving temporarily. I mean, like they're based in New York, they have investors here, they're moving back and forward, and finally they decide to set up their company here. So that's why we, but it's true that, I mean, the biggest need is more like for foreign entrepreneurs. Foreign startup moving here, who have no connection at all, who are moving here and need that. We also work with accelerators and incubators who do programs for like 1 month to 3 months. And also those people need places. So we work with them, we work with developer bootcamp, like accelerators, and they need places. So we help them too, and they are part of Startup World because they are developers, they are learning how to code, or they're like doing tradecraft, which is more like a business side of the startup world. And it's, I mean, that's where we can help too. So there is a huge demand because there is the real estate is fucked up. And, sorry.
So the reason why I'm asking is like, we're just in the process of opening a co-working space, and we want to mainly serve international startups, but we want to reserve about like half of the spots for US startups, because we think it's also important that those two groups mingle, so that it's not just international startups who just came off fresh off the boat, basically, and so, but that they mingle with other US startups who already know their way around and can basically help each other.
No, a question is like, what do you mean by US startup? Because finally, when I incorporate my company in the US, I am a US startup, even if I'm a foreigner. So in the US, it's a country based on immigration. So okay, if you're not born and raised in America, then I guess you're like out of the US world. But here it's like such a mix of international people. Then you can have also like those US startup establishing and joining your accelerator or your co-working space. And I'm sure if you have like decent price for nice places to be, for sure you're gonna have those people too. So I don't
Have you come across instances for hosting American companies, like not necessarily international or foreign?
We had some, but I would say, I don't know the exact numbers, but they are low. Maybe 10%. And it's weird because in Spain, or I guess the rest of Europe, when you ask someone where you're from, they expect you to say where you were born. But here in America, they say, no, I'm American. And then you say, no, but you don't look like American. And this guy was born in Vietnam, by the way. So, I don't know, the Americans that are really, born here from American family, not many. I don't know why. Maybe 10%.
So your son is the only child in the house?
My son? No, my son is not living here.
Oh.
No, I wish, but I wouldn't have them in the house because to me Startup Embassy is an office. It's a place just to do startups.
Oh, okay.
Work and live.
So he has his own place?
My family, unfortunately, is in Spain. I've got two kids.
They went.
A 4-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter. So yeah, that's the other part, right? The family, having the family far away, it makes it much more difficult. But yeah, but no, they're not here.
Oh, I thought they lived there.
No, that was during the summer. They came to visit, and at that time I didn't know where to put them. Okay. But now I wouldn't do that.
I want to say that actually we do have a US startup. The startup we have is different need. Like they want to go like on a team building retreat, camping retreat. They want to go like a long weekend, a week. They want to work in a different environment. So we don't have that many startup like fresh out the boat, like you said.
So, kind of like a hotel, hostel, more focused community living working space, right? Which you guys have evolved to or created.
More upscale.
Right. Kind of like a niche market of a hostel, for example, right? Obviously, you guys are all in different stages of your business. There's always some kind of sense of scaling, right? Like, are you going to scale to either create a bigger place, have more beds in one room, maybe buy another place that's either close by, like you're going to Lisbon and San Diego. I'm from San Diego and Tijuana, born in the States, but my whole family's Mexican, so I totally relate to like what is US, what is not. I've lived half my life in Mexico, so I'm like both. So, what are your plans for scaling? Kind of piggybacking off of what Natasha, I think, said. Do you guys have any plans for scaling in a certain way where you maybe specifically provide certain courses, provide connection, networking, costs? I know that kind of seems that goes against your philosophy, maybe. But do you guys have any ideas for scaling in a certain way that will be unique, but at the same time keep that community within your business model?
That's the challenge, and that's something I've been thinking a lot. People would say, no, Startup Embassy is special because you're here. And that's the worst thing they can tell me, because it means that it depends on me, right? So, yeah, I guess all of us have thought about that. You probably would say something different, but in my case, I'm not sure right now, because I'm enjoying it very much, and I want to make sure that if we scale, we will be able to preserve the same culture that we have, which is something very, very homey. It's just home, right? How do you scale that? I'm not that sure. So I cannot answer it right now. Probably there's a possibility there. But.
And you've been at your place for
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
And you've had your place for 3 months.
Yeah, but
and you're already looking to go to Lisbon.
Yeah, because the model works. Like it works in Gran Canaria, so it's Canaries Islands. It's like islands out of Spain. It's almost in Africa. Right. So Gran Canaria is fully booked. I'm fully booked after 3 months, like in the middle of the winter. So I don't know. We want to surf on the wave, and yeah, we want to open Lisbon, San Diego, and improve the model like on our own front. So maybe like Kickstarter or raise money through friends and family, and then improve the model with those 4 locations and raise more money and like, try to create a network of surf offices around the world. I know it's tough, but it's a big challenge, but I think it's doable. And guys like, I don't know if you know them, but guys like Campus, it's like a co-living network. They just do co-living, and they have like 30 houses, like 25 in the Bay Area and 5 in New York. And they've done it, so I think it's
with your business model, you can potentially go from the ocean to the mountains and do snowboarding, right?
Yeah.
The concept, or even just specifically and strictly camping, where you might even put up huts and you guys have an office in the huts or something like that. I don't know.
The thing is, people
with your business model, you technically just go to what the interests of those people are, but still have the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, but you need to make sure that you're going to be in a place where there's going to be enough demand all year long. Like if it's only it's only like a camping spot, okay, but it has to be good weather year round because nobody's going to come in winter. But yeah, there's potential for sure.
Questions? Yeah, I'll make it quick because I gotta go. But basically, I love what you guys are doing. Actually, I moved here a month ago, and I thought I would own a house myself. Then I realized it's a lot of work, and somebody convinced me not to do it. But I love what you guys are doing. I've visited some co-living places, like I visited the Negev, or in San Francisco. And
how was it?
Huh?
How was it?
Actually, I don't know if I like the founder too much, but I did like a lot of the atmosphere. Like the people I met there, I really liked. The only thing I was a bit disappointed at the long-term price. I'm going to be here for at least 6 months. Hopefully it works out and I have more time. but I'm kind of dependent a lot on my burn rate. And when they told me it was 1,200 for a shared room, I said, well, if I can find a room for myself for 800, it gives me 50% more of the time almost. So I guess my question is, how do you go for long term? Like if you guys tell me it's cheap out, I'm going to move in tomorrow. I love it.
Sure, but my question is like, how do you find a single room for $800 in San Francisco? I mean, tell me, or maybe it's in Oakland, or maybe it's San Francisco, which is Daly City, or even further, and you can still call it San Francisco. Or it's a place where you just have like shit everywhere and it's raining. I don't know. If you find that place, I will be happy to refer that place to other people.
Actually, my idea, actually what I'm going to do, what I'm looking into is getting a boat. I checked the marina slips and I talked to them and it's $300. And you buy a boat you can buy a decent boat for $5,000 to live in. And let's say later you resell it for $3,000, so you end up not spending too much. But the problem is, I agree with you guys, I don't want to be alone. Like I love waking up and living with other people, so I'm definitely see the value in it.
Buy a big boat then.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Oh, that would. Well, then they got kicked out. Like somebody did that.
Yeah, I was there.
The ice cream.
Yes. It was amazing. I love the place.
What is your policy on guests? Like, your policy on guests? Do you have a policy on guests? Like, can you bring someone over overnight or no?
Oh, it has happened twice. I know of.
Yeah.
But no, we don't like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a community, so
yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah.
Right? And people are there to work and connect, and I mean we don't like it.
It's inappropriate.
Yes, but people out of 1,000 just two did it.
Yeah.
So
it's very rare.
Yeah.
For us, we have private rooms, so if you have private rooms, you can have guests. I mean, just like a bit more expensive if you have a guest, but yeah, it's totally fine. But you're not gonna have a guest in the shared room.
Okay.
Questions, guys? So I just want to before we wrap this up, I was thinking, it's you guys in some capacity had some connection with the theme of this event today. So what I would love to hear from you, if you are a potential resident in a co-live, co-work space like one of these, what are you looking for? What's your, I want to get some feedback from you guys to them. What's your ideal place? What do you want to see? If you were to, because some of you are transitionary actually.
It looks like all three places have the father of the place, but none of them have the mother of the place.
Well, in our case, yes, because we have house managers.
Oh.
And I always try to have a woman to do that.
Oh, really?
And precisely because of that.
Oh.
So yes.
So
there's someone that is more nurture.
Oh yeah.
Nurture people there, and yes, we usually the house manager are women.
Yeah, it's better, I think.
Yeah.
That's good.
And they do have the role of the mother, 100%.
Oh.
Which is great, because if you have to tell the people to do something like clean after yourself, careful with this, in a nice way. If it's a woman, they immediately go like this and
they do it.
Yeah, they do it. Yes.
Spanish woman.
Yes, they have the whip. Good point.
Guys, I would love to get some feedback. And what do you look for? What are you looking for? Okay, I hear from Pablo. He says price is a big factor for him. Any other?
Why not an asset?
I don't hear you, sorry.
Why not an asset when it is a city?
Well, as I said, you've got StartupBasecamp, obviously. In my case, and I'll tell you why, I don't like cities. I'm doing something in a place that I love, right? Palo Alto is sunny. I just like walking. People say hi when you cross by in the street. It's just a matter of personal preference, right? And there are people that are much prefer, like people who just want to go to the beach. I would love to go there, by the way. Some other people say, no, I need San Francisco. I need the city. You've got many more people. You've got many more things to do than in Palo Alto, which is close. It's a matter of personal preference. In my situation, some entrepreneurs would prefer to come here because of, I don't know, what's the difference? How do you see the difference between San Francisco plus Palo Alto? Because you live in both places.
There's more definitely more activities. It's easier to move also if you don't have a car. Auto is more like, spread out. Here you have taxis. Now you have Lyft and Uber down there, so it's easier, but still easy to move within the city. And if you want to go out, Palo Alto has one street, 2 bars and a half, maybe one club. And
San Francisco. Well, how far are you from downtown?
I'm in Soma in Polk in California.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guys, questions? Are we done? Tired, exhausted? For the
So,
day?
do you pay a separate bill for
There's
the
an after-hour, by the way.
bedroom and the working space, or it's combined?
After our party.
Combined.
Okay, good. So, any questions, final? Okay, so these guys are going to be here, so if you have any more questions, please feel free to hang around and talk to them. So really appreciate you guys coming over.